All right. Hope everybody is well. It is February 13th, 2026. I returned back to the charts this week, and I just wanted to go over the most recent pre-market that I released. I do use the Notion software. Excuse me. I've released this in the past many times, but we're going to make this regular. We're going to release the pre-markets on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I want to go over the basic usage of the pre-market itself, and the instruments that are being tracked and why we're tracking these instruments. Also, I'll go over my MetaTrader 4 or my MetaTrader chart platform configurations. So I do use multiple instances of MetaTrader 4. As you can see, I have several installed on my machine. And the reason is because MetaTrader has limited processing power internally inside the program. So therefore, I'm sure many of you have experienced the freezing or lagging that comes along with the trading platform. Sometimes it's due to brokers cutting data feeds, but sometimes it's due to processing errors inside the platform itself. So a workaround is to have multiple instances of MetaTrader installed. All right, so I have multiple instances for analysis purposes and for execution purposes. So in general, I keep 3 installations installed for live trading. One installation uses all of my indicators and templates and things like that. The other two indicators have no, I'm sorry, the other two installations have no custom indicators installed. The only software I have installed on it is my trade manager, which we'll take a look at that. And I keep those lightweight and no custom indicators installed on those to keep the processing flowing fluidly, right? To keep everything running smoothly. And I have, like I said, I have at least 2 backups of the clean versions with only my trade manager installed, so that if there's ever an issue with one, I can immediately open the second one and continue my trade executions or trade management without any interruption. You can even have both of those running at the same time. Now that's for execution. Okay. Right now I have my analysis installations open with one execution installation open. All of these are demo accounts for presentation and demonstration purposes. But you would have your live execution MetaTrader installation running along with the backup, plus your analysis installations. Okay. So again, just to keep it clarified, I use multiple installations, some for analysis, some for execution. Okay. And I typically have multiple execution installations installed and running when I'm going to execute trades, just in case we see freezing or any other types of issues that come along with using this open source free platform. Okay. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the analysis. Actually, let's take a look at the execution. All right. So right now, I have multiple monitors set up in my office. You don't have to use multiple monitors. It's just a convenience factor. I do highly recommend at least one additional monitor. That can be a television that you extend to using HDMI or some other type of monitor. You don't have to go out and spend money on brand new monitors. Get secondhand monitors. You don't want glossy surfaces. You want matte or LPS surfaces that are not shiny. And you want a minimum of 17 inches or larger. Okay, I would recommend the larger you can get it, the better. But again, just get secondhand monitors. They don't have to be new. They don't have to be expensive. We just need external visibility or additional, screen real estate. But all of this can be achieved with one monitor. Okay, don't get it twisted. One monitor works fine, and you just have to switch back and forth between applications and between chart configurations. But it can be done with no problem. Okay. Um, so right now, my mouse is following my cursor. So I'm going to switch from monitor to monitor seamlessly, and it's going to follow along. Okay. But you can do the same thing by switching on one single monitor. All right, so right now, this is an execution example of an MT4 installation. As you can see, there's nothing on the chart but the bid and ask showing the spread and current price, and then my trade monitor over here. Okay, my trade monitor. All right. I'm sorry, not my trade monitor, but my trade manager. My trade manager, expert advisor. Okay, I like to use this manager. The links are inside of the WhatsApp chat group media section and also on the website inside of the fast track course. Okay, so that's the only thing I have on the chart. Okay, I like the clean, fluid flow. If I want to change currency pairs, I simply drag and drop, and as you can see, it updates quickly. All right, and so when you see it say waiting, what we're looking at is the waiting time between the updates. Okay, so MetaTrader has to pull in data from the broker's server, and that's what you see when you see it says waiting for update. And sometimes MetaTrader will get stuck and freeze when the data updates are coming in, and the reason is MetaTrader only processes through one internal core on your computer inside of the processor. And so instead of using all of the multiple cores that come with the processor, it just uses one. And so all of that data can get stuck coming in, especially when you have multiple indicators on your chart. And so that's why the freezing happens. Okay. So a simple way to avoid, MetaTrader freezing is to make sure you save and update your templates before you close out your MetaTrader platform, before you exit out. And then you close out all of the charts independently like this, okay? And so that when you open MetaTrader, it's completely blank. There's no charts. And then when you do open MetaTrader, you open a new chart, okay? And you add a clean template such as candlesticks only, a naked chart with only candlesticks on it, okay? So I'll show you what that looks like. You should have these. These are available inside of the Playbook Pips course and the Fast Track course, and also inside of the Killbox course in the custom installation files, the student files, okay? So we open up a clean candlesticks only chart and you won't have any problem. Now, what you can do, this is a part of your upkeep and your maintenance of your trading platform. When you have either this original chart look like this or this chart look like this, the pairs that you watch, you want to update them while the chart is clean. And that way you have the data on the machine. So when you add your templates that have the indicators on there, the data is already up to date and it shouldn't have much of an issue loading your indicator based templates. Okay. So again, this is an execution based template where I only use my trade manager in this installation to keep it lightweight and running smooth so that any of my execution, whether it's entering a trade, managing a trade, or exiting a trade, none of that will be impacted by indicators or any freezing of the platform because it has nothing but candlesticks on it and my trade manager. All right, so that keeps it running smooth and error free. All right, so that's first things first. Now, let's take a look at my analysis installations, okay? So I have my analysis installations running across 3 different monitors of my 5 monitor setup, okay? And so basically, if we start from the higher time frames, what I like to do is I like to split my chart into my higher time frames for analysis. And I have my daily in the upper left. All right, so this monitors the daily chart. I have my hourly stretched across the bottom because I like a nice amount of real estate for my hourly, okay? And then I have my 15-minute up here, okay? These are basically my primary analysis time frames. Over on my other monitor, I have my 5-minute, and then on the third monitor, I have my 1-minute. The 5-minute and the 1-minute are where I perform my execution at, okay? If I'm going to execute based on my indicator-based charts. Okay. So this is where I plot out, my setups. I check off all of my rules and everything like that, and then I switch over to this clean installation to actually enter the trade. All right. So all of my analysis and everything like this is pre-planned over here. Okay. I even use a trade manager on my 5-minute and 1-minute chart to plot out my risk reward scenario and where I plan to enter and where I plan to get out. All right. So that helps me determine ahead of time what type of move I'm looking for and how to manage it. And then again, when it's time to enter, exit, and manage the open trades, I jump over here to my execution installations. Okay. All right. Now, on my higher time frames, on the 4-hour, most of you know that I do like using the harmonic, the harmonics. Okay. I use the harmonics simply for identifying peak formations that are ready to go. So, for example, as you can see, we have a few harmonics printed on some of the currency pairs. So this is my H4 harmonic scan matrix. All right. And so I only have the harmonic pattern indicator on these charts and candlesticks, nothing else. Okay. And so this helps me get a bird's eye view of where my H4 harmonics are printing on the instruments that I'm watching. Okay. And because I have only that indicator on those charts, I can have multiple charts open and not worry about any freezing or any issues on this MetaTrader 4 installation because I'm only using one indicator per chart. Okay. And that's the H4 harmonic pattern scanner. Okay. And I have it colored this way so I can get a quick visible view of where the harmonics are, and then I can go and check them out and see which ones are active. For example, we have a harmonic pattern here on the Aussie Swiss. As you can see, it has already moved a significant distance. So the threshold is 50 pips. Once it moves 50 pips, then it's no longer an active harmonic. Okay. Same thing for Euro Swiss, Euro Aussie. All of these I can see right now they've already moved. Okay. Same thing with Euro Kiwi. Same thing with Pound CAD. And then we have Pound Yen. So let's take a look at the Pound Yen. If we measure, it has already moved 165 pips, so this is no longer a valid harmonic on the Pound Yen. Okay. We have one on NASDAQ. It is currently active, and so basically I'm looking for 50% of the ADR. So this is a H4 harmonic that is active on NASDAQ, and so we have a bullish butterfly. So this would let me know that on NASDAQ we're sitting at a 1-hour potential peak formation structure to the peak formation low. Okay, on NASDAQ. All right. We do have a gold harmonic that has already played out. It's no longer active. And we had a US 30 harmonic that already played out, no longer active. Okay. So the only active harmonic is on NASDAQ. So as you can see, it's really efficient for me to have an independent installation for MetaTrader 4 to scan the H4 chart. Keep it lightweight, keep it running smooth, and it helps me identify quick peak formation scenarios, because if you know my logic is either I'm trading the peak formation because I'm an advanced user of this methodology, or I'm trading the consolidation level that comes after the peak formation. So being able to quickly identify where we have a peak formation using the H4 harmonic pattern, that lets me know that, hey, this particular instrument is in a potential peak formation scenario. So I'm going to drop down to the 1-hour time frame, analyze it, and look for opportunities to set up for the level 1 H150 bounce. Okay, that's how I use that. And if I'm going to trade the peak formation, I'm dropping down to the 1-hour and 15-minute time frames and 5-minute time frames to look for potential intraday opportunities, such as the ID50 AR setups that occur on the 15-minute and lower time frame, often inside of the peak formation territory and following the peak formation into level 1 and level 2. All right, so this is a quick tool that allows us to get the jump on peak formations and be able to analyze setups that occur in that area and the following area. Okay. All right, so that's independent installation for H4 scanners only. You can run this, and when you're done with your H4 analysis and you've added that to your pre-market, if you add it to your pre-market, you can go ahead and move on and close this installation out completely just like this. All right. Now, from the H4, I do have a 1 hour time frame installation. Okay, and this is only for 1 hour charts. So all of my indicators are only visible on the 1 hour chart. Okay, so let's take a look at this. All right, we'll start with the NASDAQ. All right, so this is the NAS 100. Okay, this is the 1 hour chart for NASDAQ. All right, and all of these indicators are only visible on the 1 hour chart. Okay, so if you go into the settings for these indicators, this one I have it visible on multiple, but what it would look like, the way you want it so it can run smoother, it doesn't have to print on every time frame, you would only have it visible on the 1 hour chart only. So you would turn off all of these time frames and make sure that only the 1 hour time frame is visible. Okay. All right. And just like that. And then you would hit OK. And you want to do that for all of your indicators. Okay. All of these indicators. And I have built some custom indicators, all right, to reduce the number of indicators that are on the full template with all of our indicators, right? So to reduce the number of indicators, I've built some custom 90DT indicators that are combined versions of multiple indicators. So instead of having, 15, 20 different indicators across all time frames, you'll have maybe 6 or 7 indicators that are a combined version of all of those indicators into 6 or 7. So I've been able to reduce, from 15 down to 6 or 7 indicators. All right. And this is so you can get all of your analysis on the chart done for you, and you barely have to draw any lines on your chart. You don't have to draw any boxes, any trend lines, any support resistance lines. You don't have to do any of that. Okay. The only thing you might have to do is if you like to use the level count boxes, you'll draw those on a chart. Okay. But that's pretty much it. Everything else will be done for you. Okay. Your 0-0 price figures, all of your average daily range data, all of those things are a part of the indicator templates. And they basically print everything on a chart, including your sub counts, all of that different stuff, right? Moving averages, everything is there for you. Your Asian boxes, you don't have to draw those. Everything is done for you. So that's the purpose of the indicators, is to make it more convenient and more efficient with your time, so that you don't have to draw things on a chart manually unless you choose to. Okay. All right. So this is the 1 hour layout. I have a bunch of different instruments that I'm watching, all 1 hour time frame only, and this allows me to quickly identify what level I'm currently in the market maker cycle on all of these instruments. And it's such an amazing configuration for MT4, especially when you keep your levels up to date. It makes it so simple and so stress-free to come to the chart and be able to see that you have your levels current and marked up, so that you know what level you're in and you know what to expect from price action for the day according to this methodology. It's so stress-free. Like, I can't tell you how amazing it is just to open this installation of MT4 and be able to click from instrument to instrument and know off the bat what level I'm in and what do I expect for the day. Okay. And I just update this on a daily basis. Okay. Once, sometimes twice a day, but once is good enough. You want to update this ideally at the end of your trading session or at the beginning of your pre-market before you actually start trading. Okay. So right now, this is the dollar CAD. As you can see, I have all of these historical boxes with solid lines. In my current active box, I use the dotted line because it's not fully confirmed until it's confirmed. So for example, on the dollar CAD, we had a peak formation Wednesday reversal right here. Beautiful market maker behavior according to the methodology. All right, coming off of Friday, all right, we had a false move week ending to the upside, gave us a peak formation confirmed on Friday. 1350 cross on Monday, came back, hit the H150 bounce in early Asia and dropped like a rock. Big gains for people who are going to trade Asia session. All right, so the H150 can occur across all sessions. All right. Ran down Tuesday, continued to drop. Ran down Monday, continued to drop Tuesday. Gave us our peak formation low, TDI divergence. All right. Baseline bounce, rocket to the upside on Wednesday, which gave us AFP long. Peak formation to the left, anchor to the left, pattern to the left, right here. AFP to the upside. Bias is bullish. 1350 cross. First pullback happened in early Asia. They gave us another trap and pullback in the shadow boxes of London for our Brinks trade long. That was your H150 right here. Bounced off the static, bounced off the baseline. Perfect H150 bounce. All right, and gave at least a 50 pip opportunity. Actually, let's go ahead and measure this. So we had 80 pip opportunity on dollar CAD yesterday from the H150 bounce. All right, you could have captured at least 50 pips of that. All right, so now I'm going to measure my total ADR from the bottom to the high of the bullish move. Right now, that's 135 pips. ADR is 91 pips. So we hit one time ADR at 91 pips, which is approximately here. So this is our level one consolidation, one times ADR. All right. And so we've broken above that structure's high, that moves high. All right. And so we're into level two territory, trapping off the 200 EMA. Now, our bias is long, so this is a potential reset scenario. As you can see over here to the left, we do have a zone flip. Okay. Let me straighten this out real quick. I'll make this yellow for visibility purposes. Thicken it up, take off the ray, and there we are. All right, so we have a zone flip here, which is a high volume area where we expect reversals. Okay, we did have it approached the zone flip here, but we have a full zone flip here. We do have a fair value gap also coinciding. Okay. So this is like the golden gap strategy that I was teaching. All right, this is what these conditions and confluences are. Okay, so we have a zone flip combined with the fair value gap. Okay, we'll keep this to the 1 hour. We'll make it, it's a bearish fair value gap, so we'll bring it down to a bearish color like pink. And we'll fill it in. All right. We also have yesterday's high, blue tracer here. So we have several confluences. I'm sure that we're at a 50 to 61.8 on the Fibonacci as well. All right, so our Fibonacci 50 and 61.8 are here. This is the ideal golden gap scenario, okay, where we're looking for a reversal off of these confluence levels. Even without the Fibonacci, even without the fair value gap, we have our zone flip, all right, a 2-level push against the overall trend. That gives us reset conditions. And a reset is a condition where we were already in a previous trend and they pull back 1 to 2 levels, print another anchor, and then continue in the direction of the previous overall trend. So the cycle was complete here, and instead of getting a full cycle back to the upside, they give us a partial cycle, reset with a new anchor, and continue the direction of the previous trend. Okay, they do it in both directions, both bearish and bullish. All right, so this is an instance of a bearish reset. And what makes this such a beautiful reset is that we have additional confluences. Okay, we have zone flip, fair value gap, yesterday's blue tracer, 61.8 and 50 golden Fibonacci zones. So we have everything we need. Plus we have on the first leg of the multi-day M structure of the reset. Okay, this is a multi-day M structure that makes up the reset anchor. We have shark fin outside the water, one inside the band. All right, so 1 and 1. One shark fin out, one shark fin in. As long as it touches the water, it can be considered outside the band. Okay, if we zoom in, all right, you can see we have a beautiful drop in place. I'll just pull back this fair value gap real quick. All right, so you can, as you can see, we had pins over here at the New York session that gave us the first leg. We trapped back through. We have a 50 price figure right here. All right, so let me drop that on the chart so you can see it. So this is a beautiful setup for today. Okay, it's already playing out, so it's already, you know, the move has already happened, but there's still opportunity if it's going to continue to drop. All right, so as you can see, we have a 0-0 price figure right here. Okay, so we had a trap through the 0-0, that's one confluence. Trap through the blue tracer, that's two confluences. All right, trap at the 61.8 and through the 50, that's three confluences. We had a fill on a fair value gap. Okay, so that's four confluences. And then we had a zone flip with this large yellow line right here. That's five confluences. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of the fib. All right, so we have five confluences here at this, actually six when you throw in the trap through the 200 EMA. All right, so this is a 6 confluence A plus reset that we have playing out right now. All right, this is technically perfect. All right, so and this is just looking at the 1 hour chart. So if I wanted to enter this on a 1 hour chart, I will wait for this 1 hour candle to close below the 13 EMA. This is a large shift candle coming off of this bearish hammer, this pin bar. All right, so aggressive entry will be the pin bar. Technical confirmed entry is a close below the 13 EMA on a 1 hour chart. And so I will be looking to take this short once this close. My stop loss will go up directly above the candle for an aggressive stop. For a conservative stop loss, it will go directly above the reversal point, the structure reversal. Okay. All right, so that's how I'll play that. Now I do expect some pullback after the close of this 1 hour candle, so you can wait for a discounted entry where you get a pullback into this candle before price continues short. Okay, so this is a reset short that is locking into place. Okay, we do want to see the RSI on TDI close below the signal line. All right, and ideally close below the baseline, but closing below the signal line would be sufficient to short this reset on the 1 hour. Now, I don't recommend that you trade resets on the 1 hour because that's just like trading a peak formation. And until you're advanced, I don't recommend you doing that. Okay. But if we want to take a look at the dollar CAD on the lower time frames to get an idea on the opportunity, what I would do is open my M5 matrix or my multi-time frame analysis matrix. All right, so my M5 matrix is where I have nothing but M5 charts open across my multiple monitors. And you can do this with one monitor, okay? So as you can see, I have nothing but the M5 charts on each one of my screens, okay? And you don't have to have them made into small squares. You can have the large, right? You can have a large one chart visible, one M5 chart visible on your screen if you're only using one monitor. All right, you can have one M5 and you would just switch between M5, 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 and it will all be one large M5 chart. Okay, so this setup is for multiple screens. All right, so what I would do is once I have my 1 hour analysis on my 1 hour time frames here, right? Remember, I have all of my 1 hour charts marked up with my current levels. So I always know what level my my 1 hour charts are in. Okay, quick, easy. I can hop on here and see what the 1 hour is for each currency pair or instrument that I'm tracking. So convenient, so easy, so stress-free. All right, then I jump down to my 5-minute time frames when I'm stalking an entry opportunity on either one of those 1 hour charts. So let's go to the dollar CAD, which is right here. As you can see, we already printed a type 1 London pattern. All right, we had our sub count, trap volume on the first leg, no trap volume on the second leg nameable reversal pattern in the form of railroad tracks, close below 13 EMA, short. All right, so this was a beautiful, beautiful trade opportunity. I didn't take it. I woke up late. I'm so mad that I missed this because this was guaranteed money for the day. All right, stop would have went directly above, so I'd had approximately a 5 to 6 pip stop, depending on how aggressive I wanted to be. And we had a run down into the 200 EMA for a 17 pip take profit, and then today open price for a 20 pip take profit. So with a 5 pip stop loss, this was a potential 1 to 4 or 1 to 3. With a 6 pip stop loss, it was a potential 1 to 3 up to 1 to 3.5. All right. So this was between a 3 to 4% gain on the dollar CAD with a perfect H1 time frame reset analysis. Absolutely technical, perfect. A picture needs to be taken of this. Okay. This needs to be you need to take a picture of this. So go to your dollar CAD UC chart today, okay, and take a picture of this setup here. All right. So we had a large downtrend or bearish cycle, came back, gave a large multi-day reset off the 200 EMA, continued that bearish direction. All right. So this is a larger reset. All right. And then we're getting a smaller reset after this cycle. Same behavior, large cycle, large reset, smaller cycle, smaller reset. All right, same exact. You can even see this trapping through 000 figure here. All right, so this is the 1.37000 figure. This is the 1.3600 figure. Okay. So we had 00 figure trapping on the second leg, just like we had 00 trapping on the second leg here. Same exact behavior. All right. So after this anchor, I will be looking for 1350 cross to the downside, and I'll be stalking an H150 bounce to the downside, all on the 1 hour time frame. Okay. 5-minute chart, as you can see over here, printed a beautiful type 1. Now, once I have my setup on the 5-minute chart identified, then I'm going to be looking for my multi-time frame analysis matrix to kick in. All right. So I will go to my other MT4 installation where I have my D1, H1, M15, M5, and M1 all set up here. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the dollar CAD. And as you can see, it's changing my layout, my profile layout for my currency pair matrix. All right, so this is how I get my bird's eye view of every time frame once I'm ready to stalk and enter an opportunity. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, let me adjust some things real quick. All right, here we go. So this is the dollar CAD that we just looked at. Let me drop on my trade manager. All right. I know it seems like a lot going on right now, but once you get the flow of things, it becomes really fluid, happens really fast. Okay. So here's my trade manager. You always want to populate it with your currency or your instrument risk profile. Okay. Dollar CAD has an ADR of 91, a average spread of 2 pips or 1.5 to 2 pips. So ideally you want to use a minimum stop of 7 pips. All right, 5 pips tight aggressive stop plus 2 pips for the spread. So that 7 pip stop loss would be your ideal stop loss on the dollar CAD. Ideally, we're looking for at minimum a 1 to 1.5 risk reward ratio. So that would bring you to approximately an 11 pip stop loss. But let's try to go for a 1 to 2. That will bring you to a take profit, not stop loss, 14 pip take profit. So this will get you a 1 to 2. All right, 21 pip Take profit would get you a 1 to 3. So let's examine what we were looking at with this off the 1 hour time frame. All right. If you were aggressive and you entered on the first leg, and you waited for a close below the 1 minute EMA, which I like to use the 8 EMA on the 1 minute. Stop loss above the high, we're looking at a 5 pip stop loss, plus padding in the spread will give you a 7 pip stop loss. Okay, on the 1 minute time frame. All right, so 21 pip take profit would be a 1 to 3. You would have been able to effectively enter here. All right, so that would have gotten you your take profit in approximately 20 candles. So this would have been, I'm sorry, 50, 60, 68 candles. So a 1 hour trade window. So in 1 hour, you would have picked up a 3% return. All right. Entering on the first leg. This is an aggressive entry. I don't recommend that you enter on the first leg. I recommend that you wait for the second leg. This is a 1 minute entry. I'll take a look at the 5 minute in 1 second. All right. On the second leg here, you had a couple opportunities. All right. Because you had a fair value gap right here, you could have waited for a price to pull back into this fair value gap, print your reversal pattern. In this case, it was a cord of wood, COD, cord of wood reversal pattern. All right, close below the EMA right here. This is 1 minute entry, aggressive, okay? All right, here is the high of the structure. Add 2 pips to that. You got a 5 pip stop loss. All right, if you ran it down into the Asia midpoint, 50 EMA on the 1 minute, you're looking at a 1 to 3. If you ran it down to the day open price, that's a 1 to 4. If you ran it down to the low of Asia, you're looking at right now a 1 to 6. Okay, 30 pip run, 5 pip stop loss. That's a 1 to 6. That's 6% within about an hour and maybe what is it? Let me see what this would have been. 77 minutes, so an hour, a little less than 90 minutes. All right, about an hour and 15 minutes or so. You're looking at a 6R return. So 1% risk would have brought you 6% on this one move on dollar CAD entering on the 1 minute time frame. All right. Now, if we take this over to the 5 minute time frame, and remember, 1 minute time frame comes with advanced ability. Only because mentally you have to be more advanced. It's not more advanced technically. Trust me. It's a mental thing. All right. And so 5 minute time frame is what I recommend. All right. You get more type 1 London patterns on the 5 minute, more ID50s on the 5 minute than you do on the 15 minute. Okay. So start with the 15 minute to get the hang of things and then move to the 5 minute. All right. On the 5 minute, we get our close below the or on the 8 EMA. Then on the second leg, then we're looking at a 7 pip stop loss when you pad in the spread. Okay, and down to day open price, that's a 1 to 3. To Asia midline is a 1 to 2. And if you take it to the Asia low, where we are now, current price, you're looking at about a 1 to 4. Okay, about a 1 to 4. Okay, so this had a potential of a 1 to 4 on the 5 minute, quick 4%, same time, hour and 15 minutes off the second leg. If you chose to enter on the first leg, pretty much the same scenario as at play. 7 pip stop loss, 1 to 4 potential. All right. So this was a beautiful H1 time frame alignment. Okay. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful 1 hour alignment that aligned with the lower time frames. All right, 6, 7 condition confluence on the 1 hour led to perfect, beautiful drop. This is real time. These are live markets. So you're seeing the market maker method play out in front of you in real time with high risk reward, high execution potential. Okay. This is as good as it gets, guys. This is what you want to see. All right. And this is what I'll be offering in the copy trading service. I'll be taking a single trade like this per day. There are risk management structures in place to ensure that the accounts virtually never get into the negative. I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you with a lot of confidence that you will never experience a blown account. Even if we do get into negative, I have risk management protocols in place to mitigate that, to ensure that we overcome any negative balance and return to profit. It's going to be high quality A+ setups just like this taken inside of the copy trader. So we won't just be taking random trades trying to grow accounts aggressively. The risk management will do the compounding for us. Okay. So if you're interested in having your accounts grow using setups like today on a regular basis, you can sign up for the copy trader. I am offering an early bird special where you get your activation fee waived. It is a $50 activation fee. The copy trader is $100 a month. I do recommend certain deposit amounts so that you can see a return on your investment that compensates for the $100 a month. But you can start with smaller balances. You just have to be realistic in terms of, your return based on your account size, the actual dollar amount return. The percentages will always be there, whether you have a smaller account or a larger account. You deposit the money in your own account. You set up the account. You have control and access to the account. I simply connect the account to my copy trader and you receive the trades that I take. Okay. Just like yesterday, if we take a look back, let me go to 1 hour. So yesterday on the 1 hour, I was able to take this H150 bounce trade long, picked up 4%, could have picked up a total of 9% on the day, but I got the 4%, not being greedy. It fit my risk reward targets, and I closed my trades, walked away. Took me about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes to pick up that 4%, no stress. I knew exactly what trade was coming, what trade to take because I had my charts marked up, and yeah, I'm fluid with the methodology. All right, so I'm going to adjust this box to reflect the level 1 condition here. All right, here's my level 1. All right, I'm going to adjust this back over here now that we're into level 2 with the reset conditions. All right, I'm going to clone this box, bring it over here to match the reset anchor. All right, and then I'm going to adjust the box because it's a complete box now. Going to make the line solid, close that off. Level 1 is complete. All right, we're in level 2 reset. Bring this back towards the high. I'm expecting it to continue to drop. We just had our 1 hour candle closed 4 minutes ago. All right, so now this would be your technical entry if you wanted to enter at the close of the 1 hour candle. Okay, again, we are expecting some retracement. Okay, that will give you a discounted entry. Now you have your close below the signal line and the baseline on the 1 hour. That's exactly what I mentioned a few minutes ago, and it's exactly what played out. Okay, now we can gauge how much pullback we're going to get using the Fibonacci tool on the lower time frames. So let's go back to our lower time frames. Here's our 5 minute. I'm going to pull out my Fibonacci tool, retracement tool. I'm going to draw my Fibonacci and extend it down to the low of the move. Okay, as you can see, we have some fair value gaps painted for us using my fair value gap indicator, and what we're looking for is price to retrace back into these key areas. Okay, the 38.2, the 50, or the 61.8. All right, and that will give us our discounted entry. Now it does not have to give that to us. It can continue to drop, right? But here's what we're looking at. Okay, we're looking at, let me put on my drawing tool right here. We're looking at a move that comes back into the day open price and then drops, right? Or comes back into one of these Fibonacci levels, prints an intraday anchor on the 5 minute time frame or 1 minute time frame, okay? And then it drops. Okay, that's what we're looking for. That would be our discounted entry move, okay? And that will be the ideal place to get in for a continuation short. All right. Now let's talk about the opposite of our analysis. What can happen? Okay. Going back to the 1 hour chart, we can see price move, and as you see, price is trapping through a 0 figure at the downside as well. Okay, that's key. All right, but price can move into the 50 EMA area, right? High volume area, 50. There's moving average liquidity here. So there's liquidity at this price range, okay, following the moving average. All right, there's liquidity there. So we can't see price move to the 50 EMA and then reject and go to the upside. Okay, so that can invalidate that move to the upside can invalidate our reset short continuation. All right, moving lower. That can happen. So the way we would judge that is if we go to our 5 minute time frame, if we see price close above the 61.8, all right, that's an indication that it may keep going higher, all right, and it may break our reset short rules. Okay, that would invalidate the reset short. So if we get a break above the 61.8 and retest long, so what would that look like? All right, we get a break above the 61.8, all right, and then it gets something like this, and then it continues long like that. That would invalidate. All right, now they may just be sweeping back into the highs over here. Okay, so they may be sweeping back into the highs, into this supply zone. Okay, supply and demand, high liquidity, orders resting here. All right, they may be sweeping back into that zone, but that invalidates our reset short. Okay, and that would break the reset short conditions. What would validate the reset short is we get a pullback into one of these areas here, right? And we print an anchor. Okay, so we print something along the lines of an anchor, and it continues to move short. Okay, that would validate our reset. Ideally, we want to see a trap off the 38.2 or the 50. Once it gets into 61.8 territory, your setup can potentially be invalidated much easier. All right, so we look to see retracements back into the lower portions of the Fibonacci retracement tool. Okay, that's what we like to see. All right, so that's what we're looking at for dollar CAD. We already have our reset confirmed. We had our big move happen already, and we're looking to see it continue to the downside. All right, but beautiful opportunity, textbook, and this is the type of work that will be done in the copy trader. So if you want to see some passive growth of your account, regular percentage gains, I will be releasing details on what those percentages are targeted to be, and it will be exceptional. You will not find these types of returns in the open market, whether it's the S&P 500, ETFs, or anything like that. My returns beat the market consistently, and you'll be seeing that type of growth in your account. And as long as you let your account compound for, a minimum of 3 months, you'll start to see significant gains in the account. And the longer you allow it to compound, the more it will grow. If I recommend withdrawals of 10% per month once you reach a suitable dollar amount in your account where you feel comfortable and your copy trading fee is covered, then you can start pulling out 10% per month to pay yourself while the rest of your account balance compounds. And then every 3 to 6 months or so, you pull out, or 12 months, you pull out a large chunk of money and do whatever you need to do with your capital. You can even take these proceeds and buy prop trading accounts, or take these proceeds and fund other personal accounts while this continues to grow. And I do have conservative and aggressive risk profile options available. So all of those details will be sent out. And again, if you want to sign up early, you'll get your $50 activation fee waived, and we will commence copy trading going into the first week of March. So all details will be on the website, and you can go ahead and get signed up. All right. This is for people who are busy, people who are still chasing consistency, or people who just want passive growth to be seen in their accounts. All right. So I have my execution terminal over here. Okay. My 4-hour terminal here for my harmonics, my 1 hour matrix here for keeping up with all of my 1 hour levels, my 5 minute matrix here so that I can quickly scan for opportunities once I have my H1 levels and instruments on my market watch list. Those are the instruments that I plan on potentially trading for the day. Once I have all of that done, I jump down to the 5 minute so I can look for opportunities. And then when I have the actual instruments that I want to trade identified, I jump down to my multi-time frame matrix so that I can see in detail what's going on with that particular instrument. Finally, I like to use MetaTrader 5 because it allows me to get the 15-second chart visibility. I like to use the 15-second charts. And so this would have been the opportunity on the 15-second chart. Okay. And you could have got a much higher risk reward. So if we picked up, potential 1 to 5 on the 1 minute chart, if you would have entered on the 15-second, you could have got tighter stops and potentially had something like a 1 to 7 risk reward profile, 1 to 8 risk reward profile, 1 to 9 risk reward profile using the 15-second entry. Highly advanced. Don't recommend it until you have a lot under your belt and you're ready for something like that. Now, lastly, to close out, here's the pre-market. This is what the pre-market looks like. You come to an asset matrix. It lets you quickly identify what's going on with the currency pairs that we are watching. We have the majors, most of the majors. I wanted to keep it to under 10 pairs or 10 instruments. We have most of the majors, including the DXY dollar basket that lets you know what's going on with the US dollar itself. I like to look at that so I know what's going on with dollar-based pairs. Okay. Then I have a few crosses to round out the rest of the instruments that allows you to get trade opportunities even when dollar-based pairs don't offer clean opportunities. Okay. So what you would do from the asset matrix page, you would click on any particular instrument, and it would bring up this window which lets you know if it's on the watch list or not, whether it's clear, you're going to pass on it, or you're going to add it to the watch list, or it's unclear. Whether there's red news in which particular session, or are we expecting red news? What's the ADR count? What's the level count? Do we have AFP active on that current day? What's the potential bias? Possible setup. As you can see, I already had this stuff marked out. And what time frame are we looking for the setup on? Okay. Then I have some analysis commentary. Level 1 played out perfectly, led to significant gains. At this point, we're at an H1 zone flip short, trapping through the 200 EMA, which may produce an M off the Mayo reset short. It may conversely also produce a W off the Mayo on the lower time frame to produce a long trade, depending on how price prints, but inclined to look for the reset short. And as you can see, here's our reset short. Okay. Exactly as I forecasted. Okay. 100% accuracy. All right. And then I do offer an accompanying screenshot. As you can see in this screenshot, at the time, it was the open of today's market, close of New York. We only had one leg printed for the reset. And since then, we've had second leg occur and drop. Zone flip exactly as predicted. All right. So that's what's going to be offered. All right. Now, we also have a checklist area where I update the conditions of each instrument that we're watching, the symbol, the watch list, the news, the level, the bias, ADR, and so forth. Okay. All of this is built into the Notion. And then we have the playbook where things are categorized. Are we going to pass on it? Are we going to monitor it for potential trade opportunities? Or is it unclear, where that's our secondary pool of opportunities? All right. These are less quality setups, lower quality setups. These are high quality setups. Okay. And these are instruments that we're going to pass on trades for that day. Okay. But this can be moved over from unclear to monitor or open trades. Okay. Okay. Because the conditions formed to validate the reset which brought it over into a high quality trade with 6 ideal confluences. Actually, doesn't belong here. I think I hit the wrong thing. So let me take this. I picked the wrong one. Sorry. So we're going to move UC over from unclear to monitor open trades type of scenario. That's what it would have been if I was on the charts at the time. I overslept. I was up until 4 a.m. working on different things for you guys. So UC would have been open trades, high quality monitoring opportunity on the watch list. Okay, and so that's how that would look in the playbook, checklist, asset matrix. Okay. All right, that's how that works. All right, now here's a glimpse at the copy trading. This will be the landing page for you all to get all the information you need for the copy trading. We have how it works. Okay. We have our risk profiles. All right. Our pricing. Okay. Equity recommendations, meaning deposit recommendations. Those are adjustable. And then our FAQs, frequently asked questions. Okay. All right. So again, you trade once and let the dealer flow mirror it everywhere. You can have multiple accounts and so forth. Okay. So basically, all of the executions would be copied. It works because you don't have to worry about indicators, keeping up with analysis, or performing any actions on your part. You're just basically aligned with my timing, liquidity, analysis, and structural analysis. Okay. What doesn't copy? I don't have anything to do with your deposit or withdrawals. I don't have anything to do with your manual trades. You don't have to worry about any indicators or anything on your charts. It can be a clean, highly functioning, smooth running MT4 installation or MT5. Now you have to understand that I cannot guarantee you profits legally, but I have extensive track records and strict scaled risk management that assures that your account never gets blown. And in fact, I can offer a personal assurance that you will see returns from your account. Okay. By law, I cannot promise you that and guarantee it, but I can ensure you that you will never have a blown account. Okay. Ever. Okay. So your deposit or your balance will always be protected and safe. Okay. Then we use it's a quick onboarding process. Once I get you set up, we use social copy trading software in the cloud to ensure speed and reliability. We do have risk management I just mentioned. All right, so basically it's focused on intraday, occasional swing trades. We do offer scale-in opportunities and partial trades and stuff like that, partial risk and stuff like that. Okay. Differences in brokers are to be expected. So, but depending on which broker you use, which I have a recommendation of both U.S.-based brokers and offshore CFD brokers that I'll recommend as options. You have to do your own research, on those brokers. But basically, you use the built-in access portal on the 90-Day Trader website for your login, of course, and registering for the Copy Hub. Then you activate the type of plan that you want. If you just want Forex or you want Forex and NASDAQ, and then you would connect your account inside of the social trader in the cloud. We do all of this for you, and we make sure that your symbols your instruments are accurately mapped according to your broker. All right. You don't have to worry about missing moves. You don't have to worry about any trading errors, no emotions or psychology on your side. And we have, profiles in terms of risk management that you can choose from. Okay. Here are some of the recommended offshore brokers for CFDs. And then we recommend Tasty FX on the US side. Okay, I don't recommend Oanda for different reasons. Okay, it's not my personal choice. 3 risk profiles: conservative, standard, and aggressive. And yeah, here we are. Here are the risk exposure profiles according to, or settings according to each profile. Okay, yeah, and here's the instruments that we trade. Okay, majors, selective crosses, and NASDAQ is optional. $99 a month for the currencies only, $150 a month for currencies plus NASDAQ, one time $50 setup fee per account. You can get that waived for your account if you get the early bird special. So you would sign up pre-launch. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now there is a setup fee for each additional account that you add. You can have multiple accounts set up with multiple risk profiles. So you can have a conservative account and an aggressive account if you want it. All right, you want to see high returns from one account, grow faster, lower returns from the safer account. Okay, there is a $50 setup fee per account. All right, but your monthly fee is one fee of $99 a month to be an active copy trade member. So you can have multiple accounts, all for $99 a month. Okay, but each account does require a setup fee. If you get the early bird special, you can open up multiple accounts and have the setup fees waived for all of those accounts. Okay, and yeah, but all of this detail will be sent out via email. The links will also be posted in the WhatsApp chat group. And so you'll be able to access all of those details directly via email or WhatsApp. All right. So that's it for today, guys. Just wanted to go over the um, MT4 setups that I use. Also go over the pre-market template that will be issued out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This will be given out to all members. There will be a stripped down version that just gives the level count and the H1 bias to all members. This detailed version will be for those who join the monthly membership. So we do have a monthly membership opportunity coming up where you're going to get a lot of benefits, including the AI software. You're going to be getting mastermind group access where, in addition to the regular lessons that are given via Zoom, you'll be able to be a part of the live trading mastermind that we do. And you'll get this, you'll also get macro fundamental reports on a weekly basis where you basically get the macroeconomic and the fundamental analysis report on a weekly basis. You get access to the AI software, the custom chat GPT that pretty much answers all of your methodology questions and concerns, also acts as your trading coach. So you'll get that plus the live trading, plus the pre-market, the detailed technical analysis pre-markets. It will be even more detailed than this one. And you get the monthly mastermind Zooms. There are some other benefits as well, like you'll get certain tools for analysis and data mining and different things like that. So there's a lot of benefits that comes with the monthly membership. And so details of that are going to come out next week. And so those that want to be a part of a more comprehensive, high level aspect of the trading community, you'll have that opportunity in addition to the copy trade opportunity for passive gains and growth in your account. All right, guys, a lot of information. Watch this video a couple times to make sure you understand what's going on. Ask questions inside of the chat group or on the website, and you'll be able to fully understand. But all of these details for the copy trader and for the monthly membership, along with the new material that's coming out. Okay, monthly members also get access to advanced training materials as well. But the new streamlined materials coming out for all paid members, and you'll be able to get access to that in March as well. So all the things I've been working on this year are ready to be released. And so we're going to do things one by one, starting with the copy trade and the monthly membership, and then the new material. And yeah, everybody can take their trading to another level and get what you came to get out of this opportunity. All right. Take care.